Hey guys, Sunday, October 12th, 2025. Let's see what the Black Widow could possibly do this week. This will be a long video because I haven't really covered Nat-Gas in a while, so I figure I'd give you a little catch up. Things are changing, interesting every day. So first off, let's do our Fibonacci. From our August 25th low, we got this impulse here, this impulse down here. Did an extension, and guess where we hit our high? Right here at the 1.61.8, which is 349 or 350-ish. These are closes. I think it probably went even higher. I can't remember. I gotta look at the futures. But nonetheless, it kissed it, and now it's pulling back. So right now, this will have to just get deleted. We're not using this anymore. Next thing is our Gann square at the 75%. We got this impulse wave higher, high, pulled back, maybe not a fail new high, but, an attempted to push higher. Target would have been 358. Pulling in right now, you got this angle, but it all depends once it kisses it, but then there's a strong support, which it found right here on the August 25th low. Somewhere around 268-ish. If it does get down there, maybe it could be a fail new low, double bottom, then explode. But that's just speculation of mine. Notice the stochastics. Every time we get this black bar, things get interesting. It kind of sells off. So that's going against the bulls. And honestly, if it was to pull back, it'll be nice because then you could buy it somewhere when it gets down here. If it ever gets down there, we don't know. But if the stochastics get sold off and they get on the oversold area, maybe it's an opportunity to dip your toes. But right now, I'm just kind of showing you what I'm seeing with the different theories and the different techniques. So you could decide what you're going to do this week. That covers that. Let's look at our Elliott wave. I remember where this was a 1, 2, we were working on a 3, and then we're supposed to do a 4 and a 5, and you know what? It has all changed. Look at that. That August 25th is still a wave 5, and not a 1 now, but now it's an A, B, C. So I don't know if we're going to have more downside. This is 50-50 right here. It could continue going lower, and it could possibly turn. I got a few things that tell me that could turn, and there's a lot of things that also tell me that it could continue pushing lower. Obviously, this is already showing that it could probably push lower. Looking at our cycle, more of a fractal that I use. See the low here. We pick this peak here. We got the low right here. You can say right here, it picked the high here. And now, I don't know if you want to go by this, so far these weren't bad. But if you're risky and you're thinking, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I'll wait somewhere around August 10. Not August, what am I saying? October 20, maybe 21, 22. Anywhere between 17 20, 21, 22. Look at those dates and see if we bottom out. Maybe we test this level here. Maybe it's an ugly sell-off, and maybe we test this bottom here in conjunction with this fractal cycle that I'm watching. And then maybe turn. But that's just pure speculation of mine. This is a bigger cycle that I'm watching, but you can see that this one went down and Nat-Gas went up. So this one didn't play out well, but this one so far is working out. But this is just not the crystal ball, but just pure speculation. So an ABC. Let's see what else I have. Let's put some of our indicators here. So I had targets up here. That doesn't look like it's probably going to play out. We got the linear regression channel here. Let's kind of zoom in here because this is where it's going to get important. And let's open this up. with the Stokes. You can see the MACD is already about to turn. The ADX just had a crossover. So things are looking things are looking, and then we got gaps. We got gaps here. I think we have one somewhere here. I'll show you later in the chart if I ever get that far. But then again, I warned you, this is going to be a long video. So if you're hardcore Nat-Gas, then you're going to get some good stuff here. To make a, at least make a better decision for this week or what your plans are. First off, using the ellipse technique right here, these dates, 10/16 is going to be interesting. It's going to be some interesting volatility kicking in. You could probably give it a little wiggle room of 15, 16, 17, somewhere around there. Does that line up with our cycle? Very close. Our cycle bottoms are around the 21st. Somewhere around here is going to be a little interesting in regards to the ellipse, and this is using these swing points. But there's a target here around 308 that may find support, and then you got the linear regression channel here. And if it wants to really push lower, you got some. I got a target here of 291, 290ish, in conjunction with this line right here. I think that's it for this chart. I got the Gann square, yep. And then the Fibonacci, I already, actually maybe Fibonacci retracement. Let's see. At the 50%, so you're back at the midpoint. So it'll be interesting to see if if it bounces from here. One of the reasons why it got void too is that normally, if this was our wave 1 and 2 and 3, and now we're coming here, you cannot violate wave 1. It should have found support here or somewhere in between these two lines for wave 4 and then continue on a wave 5, but that didn't happen. So now we're digging into our first wave 1. So that's why things already started changing. On top of that, we got our Stokes that are very overbought. We got the signal. So keep an eye on that, 309 and the $3 level. Let's get that out. I'm just trying to make sure I cover everything because I can't do videos like I used to every day. I'm busy doing so many other things. All right, so you guys got this right here. This is going to be an interesting area. Now let's go to our next clip. Okay, so this is Nat-Gas percent of months in which Nat-Gas closed higher than it opened from 2021 to 2025. You can see within a 5-year time frame, and mind you, I don't know if you follow my channel, but platinum, October is very, very, very strong. And we're pushing highs, but there's a lot of things happening. So this month is going to be interesting. So you look at my platinum video, seasonalities, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So you got to just be vigilant. But so far on platinum, October is working really good. Using a 5-year time frame, you can see that we are very weak. And pretty much November is flat. Nothing really bullish nor bearish. Using our 10-year time frame, you can see that October is flat. Nothing really of an edge. Nothing bullish, but nothing really bearish. November has a little bump, but not by much. Going 15 years, I don't know. You ask me, that looks kind of dull. It's pretty much flat in my opinion, just because it's above, 53. But nothing really here. November's really flat, so it's kind of, it could be a sideways market this in the next couple of, this month and next month. You see that December, it dips. And our last, which is 20 max, you can see that it only got to 60%. Then November goes up. So it's pretty dull October. Nothing really of an edge in regards to seasonality. But, that could change. A lot of the news says that, I guess in the U.S. it's just warmer weather, so no demand. So maybe storage is going to spike even higher. People are going to continue selling. I don't know. I get mixed reports in regards to the weather that, it could be a cold winter. But then you look at the weather and it's not that bad. So I don't know. We'll take it day by day, but I just wanted to show you so you kind of get at least in regards to seasonality what Nat-Gas typically does. Not that it always does it. All we know it can skyrocket. I know there was a cycle I remembered that it was going to be bullish in November, but so far price action hasn't really been confirming that. Let's go to our other clip. Let's look at the energy sector. Look at crude selling off. This is a weekly chart. And we were in Chop Fest from August, and something happened in October that it just got ugly. It started selling off. There could be some support down here, but I just want you to see what Nat-Gas is dealing with. Brent, same thing. Maybe it could get down to like 60, 59, 58. Bob, we're getting a discount in the market. This is pretty much, this is a bonus. This is like a bonus. Yeah, to me. $1.80. I don't know what's going on over there, but yeah, this is a bonus. This is a plus for the markets. Heating oil, selling off. 219 doesn't hold, may go to $2. Not even getting, I don't know, it's October, it's still kind of early. It's not even cold. I'm in Nashville. It's not even cold out here. But I don't know any, in the other parts of the world. But it's selling off. Nat-Gas is the only one that has a little trajectory, to go higher. But then you could do a trend line here. Can I do a trend line? Maybe I should have messed around. I haven't done this in a while. I think I messed this up. Guys. Did I fix it? There you go. Look at that. Pushing in. Got a trend line there, having a tough time. And ethanol got this gap, and now it's pulling in. So yeah, the energy sector is all pulling in, and Nat-Gas is starting to, but not as ugly as everybody else. Another thing to keep on watch is the US dollar. If this puppy starts going higher, if it has a close, you see that there's a resistance. There's a level to watch. 100 is strong. 100. If it gets to 100 and it fails, then nothing to worry about it. But if it gets to 100, fails, and like does a rip to the upside or just rips, then be careful, because maybe there's going to be some pressure on the commodities. It's just my thoughts. Let's go to the next chart. So these are my natural gas stats, and I updated that the 12th, which is today. So this group right here are my technical indicators or analysis on the different time frames. The monthly is positive, but the weekly and the daily are negative. And it's not that bad, but it's bad. It pretty much... when you get 2, it's really ugly. But so far, it's not looking good on the daily nor on the weekly. The monthly is looking good. In regards to signals that I use to buy and sell, the daily looks good. The weekly doesn't look good, and the monthly looks good. You got 2, you got -1. The 4-hour and the 2-hour are ugly. Very ugly. I don't got anything positive. Normally these will start getting positive, and then this will get positive, and then I just, on a pullback, go long. But the shorter time frame don't look too good. Commitments of traders report large speculators are selling. I don't like to buy when the large speculators are selling. It all depends. If I'm doing some Gann technique and timing, they could be wrong. They're selling, but I know there's a timing a turning point, and I could just start accumulating here, and then they'll eventually, oh man, things turn, let's get it. But it all depends. But so far, large speculators are selling commercial or buying Nat-Gas, while large speculators are selling. In regards to seasonality, October is flat. There's no edge here in regards to seasonality. It's not bullish, but it's not bearish. Platinum is bullish. Platinum is very bullish in October. I could prove that to you. I mean, look at the price. But be careful this week. It could be a turning point. Possibly. Not guaranteed. Not saying you that it's going to happen. But could possibly play out using probability. The daily chart on wave 5. This, I didn't update this. I didn't get that far. So this will probably be, I'm going to leave it as 0. I'm going to just call this daily chart ABC with a question mark. Because I don't know what's going to happen here. I need to see it break down even more. So total score -4. It doesn't look too good if I really wanted to go long. So the bears might have a little edge as of right now. And the market hasn't even opened. Let's go to the next clip. Okay, this is my last clip. I could go on to the master chart and all that, show you some geometry and other things, but sometimes it could be just overload. It's just too much. So I figure just, I like to look at all that because it makes me see the bigger picture and kind of maybe make a better guess or decision. But even with just this chart I have here that I use at least for, it's good enough. It gives you an overall view of what what I'm seeing. So far on the monthly, using a 10-year time frame, we are below the value area high of 337. We went as high as around 458. Yep, 458. Yep. So on the Elliott wave theory chart, the extension using the closes was around 449. So you see it went up a little higher. But nonetheless, we're above the point of control, which is 288. So just kind of still right back into an inside. I don't know, maybe not an inside because we really poked out, but back inside, this monthly candle. On the weekly, this green yellow is the anchored VWAP from the August 23rd high of 1002, and now we are below it again. It's just pure chop as we go all the way up here, and then we go all the way back down. You see this line is just coming across. Now, the further we continue going away from it, the bearish it gets. You could probably do a trend line here. If it gets down there, maybe we could bounce. That would be like around 290-ish. But nonetheless, you could say there's weakness in regards to the anchored VWAP. I just like to measure different things. But the good news is that we are above point of control, which is 262, which is a 262, which we found support at 825, August 25th, and bounced. I can't remember if this was a change of contract or whatnot, but it did find support and bounced off of that. So Nat-Gas does know and see 262. So remember that. On the daily, this one right here is the March 10th high anchored VWAP of 490. You can see that we are below that, so that's bearish. We were chopping around here, but we're coming into the point of control, which is 307 on the daily using a 2-year time frame. And this one right here is the 152 low from February 20 of 2025. And we still got more to go if it's going to try to find support at 298. So right now, bearish, unless we get a close above 317 this week. But so far, bearish, below the value area low. But, it's kind of, you could say, gray area. But definitely bearish. But this and right here are going to be support. So this could be bullish if it finds support. Looking at our simple glance, we still got a PPS sell signal. We're about to break the mobile, but you got the 20 here. MACD is still negative. You're below the cloud. Linear regressions are still pointing down and sideways. So there's still weakness on the weekly time frame, which is the mid time frame. Future is still negative. Linear regression is still pointing down. However, MACD is positive. You got PPS buy signal, but now you are below the 20, out of the cloud, which is already bearish. You penetrated and failed and pulled out below the 20. The only thing you probably and the 50 and the 200. The only thing you got probably for support will be the 100, and you're entering the mobile. So once you crack 288, it is full blown bearish, which would be the 100 moving average. And then you got the point of control around 262. This is where we bounced in conjunction with the Tom D mark 9th candle sequence. Everything pretty much aligned with POC and TD9. Will we get down there? I don't know. So far, the weekly MACD is positive, and the trend looks like it's positive. The Kanashi candles are all white, open candles. But we don't want to go dig deeper. We at least want to hold 304. You know, we'll look at the Gann square, but you don't want to dig deeper. Maybe this hopefully is the low. On the daily, you get a whole different picture. MACD is already negative. We never got to stay and close above 338. We pulled back in, PPS sell signal, broke the mobile. You broke through the 20. You got the 50 around 302. You got value area low around 293. And you look like you're kind of finding support right here at this level, which is 312. So this could probably be a good area if this holds this week, but if it doesn't, it could push down to the last leg of the linear regression channel right here in conjunction with the value area low. So this is bottom feeder discount. This is like the super Goodwill, dollar store, $5.99 deal right here. If it ever gets down here. And you always have the risk that it could always test 277, which is that September 23rd low. Always have that risk. But this could be where you could be like, all right, I'll buy here, place my stop here, because if it wants to go down there and I'm out. Or some of you don't play stops, and you could be like, you know what, I'll just play and see what happens. So this could be a good area right here. Let's go into our geometry. You can see that we have failed. This is a trend line from here. We're already digging deeper here. I'm not going to worry about log scale and all that. You guys know that. You guys could do that on your own. We failed the midpoint here in this channel. You got your 75 here, and then you got this quadrant here. Let's see, cycles. Let's see FT levels. Yep. Would be a big area to watch. Get the 1x4 down there. Gap fill. Mind the mind a weekly chart? Aren't you this? I suppose it'd be in a daily chart. My fault. Okay, yeah. So this is a daily chart. So this is our gap fill, and we pierced it and just kind of bounced right off of it. If you want to fill this gap fill, you need to at least get down to 296. So keep that on watch. If it gets down here, you may want to just do that and then, move up, or maybe just turn here. But keep an eye on that level. And you got a little mini one here, but this is the big one. And I believe this is change of contract. It looks like a change of contract. So pretty much change of contract gap fill. Geometry, circle, let's see, trend line. There's a couple of here. Let's do our retracements. So look at that. So this retracement, I labeled it from the 144 low to the 1002 high. And look at that. That's 75%. That's 358 to the T. This is not Fibonacci. This is pretty much the Gann ratio, which I like to use. And look at that, to the T. From the 144, 1002 high. Who would have knew that? But in hindsight, when you see it, you're like, damn, that was not bad. That was pretty accurate. This one is from the 152 low all the way to the 490 high that we have currently of March the 10th. And what am I doing here? And so far, it looks like I want to do a trend line, which I don't. Get this out of here. So we are now below the midpoint, which is 321. So it's going to find another support. I don't know. I think this is not a Gann ratio. So you got 50 and you got the 62.5, which is 278. You can see that it saw that there. And then the 66.7, which is a 264. But so far, if we want to regain the midpoint from this swing, you want to at least get above 321, at least to consider maybe a long. So far, you're below it. So this is the line in the sand. And I think lastly, the 1002 to the 252 low, you can see that we never got even to 364, which is a 25%. So the one from the 144 low to the 1002 high, nail the high. Lastly, before we go to our midpoint chart, my SO date. So if this is the low, for this year, and we're going to start trending higher, these should all work out. If this is not the low, and we're going to fill gap and push in lower, and then continue pushing lower and test this, and maybe bounce, but then continue pushing lower, and then kiss this, and then all this is going to be a dud. Dud meaning is not going to work out. But if this is the low, and somehow we're going to have a turn and push higher and take out that 358, then there's a high probability that these will work out in the future. So far, this one worked out. The 1/4, I don't know if I got these right. The 1/3 was a little late here. And now we're entering the halfway point, which is 1010. That's 1010. So this is, you could say, halfway point. 1010 was Friday. Well, here it shows 1010. So let's see. This is the only thing I can see that is positive if my SO dates are going to work out, is that we turn here. But tomorrow has to be bullish. It's not like we're going to go and fill the gap fill. You know, it's like we can't do this unless we're going to do this and then do that. Okay, maybe I'm cool with that. But it needs to be bullish from Monday on if my SO dates are going to work out. It's either going to bounce from here, go up. You know, not in a straight line, but, you know, it's going to do its own thing. And maybe a turn here around 2/3. Another turn around 3/4. But eventually it needs to be going that way. Maybe ending a high around November the 25th. So I'm pretty much going ahead of myself in the forecast, but there's a lot of things that has to happen. So far, Elliott wave theory is against us because it's saying we're going lower. There's a lot of things showing that too. But there's other techniques that I use again that maybe could probably play out. So it's a 50-50 here. And then you got all these gaps. And I know they don't necessarily get filled. I'm aware of that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So, you know, it depends on that. Let's go. I don't think I got anything else. Let's go straight to our midpoint chart. Lastly, we failed this 75% right here. We're back in the MOBO. Mobos are still positive. Waves are positive. Stokes are kind of there. You got 285 here as support or target. EPS buy signal. So far the monthly, the yearly with the weekly chart looks good. the monthly pivots with the daily chart doesn't look good. PPSL signal, you got the line in the sand for this month, which is 308. This needs to hold. You want to be bullish. So far, the waves look negative. Mobile's already negative. Stokes are unwinding to the downside. So the only thing that's going to make this positive, if we do not take out 308, we need to hold 308. And if it pierces it to, 298 max, but we need to hold this area right here for a turnaround to go upside. The dollars continue pushing higher. It could continue pushing pressure on Nat-Gas. And if the weather's not helping us, then that's even a plus. So those are key levels that I want you to be aware of. Looking at our 4-hour chart, you can see that we were trying to hold the midpoint from last week, which was 336, and we couldn't. Bears came, pushed it hard. Bulls came, and the bears are pouncing right at that midpoint. Boom, boom, boom. Just a lot of selling there. An aggressive seller right here. And just pushed it. And they were trying to hold the 25, and they continue pushing it. So now we kissed last week's low in conjunction with the 200 SMA. You see it right here? So now the bulls will be like, all right, this is our other opportunity to hold this 200 and maybe bounce from here. And this is a little bullish or a little positive, the wave. The Stokes are very, very oversold. So it could be one of those things where it bounces, maybe kisses 320 in the overnight, and then they pounce more. So you got to be very careful here. You want to see something and continue and maybe get here and get at least above 332. But anything below 309, targets to the downside 297 all the way to 286 for the bears. For the bulls, you want to get up here. We get up here, 332, then we look at all this. Lastly, for when it opens, which is probably about to open soon, as you can see, your midpoints were all stepping down, and every buying opportunity, every pop was a selling opportunity. Once you get your PPS signal, that's when you're short. Pretty much that was a good short from right there. Short. Short again. No buy signal yet. So for today, or the Sunday, this is the line in the sand, 317. So this is bulls, this is bears. So it all depends where it opens, but extreme targets to the downside, $3 and 305. Get above 317. Targets to the upside, 325, extreme 329, and 333. Those are your extreme targets. And lastly, the square of 9. We're somewhere around 313, which is somewhere around right here. So we took out our 90-degree 316, so we could potentially get to 307. And then somewhere around here, you see that we failed this area around 328 and 331. So I'm betting maybe 304. 304 to like 301, extreme 290. This is probably going to be in the overnight section. One of these could potentially hold 301, 302. So somewhere around here, they could probably maybe be support. Take out 298 and it could get ugly. It could go all the way to 289 and maybe 281. You don't want to go below 298. But you want to watch 298 and 307. Right now we're at 313. But if it gets down here and it gets in here, then this is the area you want to watch. If it doesn't get down to 307 and gets above 316, maybe it could be a possible turn. You could probably get to 325. I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video. I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the Black Widow.